Hey people, this is Conrad Layn here. So I had the craziest experience last night. I'm about to go to sleep, guys, but just want to keep my promise to myself to let you guys know. So there's a few things you need to do to protect yourself as a tour host. First thing, always document and notify whoever you know personally where you're going. Tell at least one person or more where you're going. If someone can go with you, have them go with you. Doesn't matter what time it is, especially if it's late at night. Also, if you get any type of creepy, suspicious, or violent type of messaging um, or conversation through text, media, or in person, notify Troy immediately, document it, screenshot it, upload to your trip photos, so that at least there's some type of paper trail. So if something happens or doesn't happen, at that point, Turo will have access to that, and the police can as well. Next, I think you want to do as well is always record, especially late at night when you meet someone. Just little snippets of the conversation of you meeting them. So if they say something or do something, at least the phone they could be accessed, and not just that, you have some proof that you give to Turo or the police, etc. The reason I'm stating this is not to freak you guys out, not to tell you guys a late night scary story because I'm about to go sleep. It's just really to show you guys. I talk about making money and all in the beautiful side, but I also want to tell you with any business, not just Turo, any business, there's always risk and liability, and it's actually part of the definition of business. So it's one of those things in business, there is risk and liabilities, but the rewards, if you properly have an implemented strategy, usually outweighs the risk. So, and liabilities. But, anyways, let me elaborate further. So, I had two bookings back to back. I had one booking for the Infiniti Q50, beautiful vehicle. They booked this guest they had someone with them. They booked it 2 months ago, and not a problem. I did my best to accommodate them, as I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you actually the messaging between them and I, and that I accommodated their location change, I accommodated their time change, no problem. I even put a smiley face. I'm cool. I just want to do my best to give them a good experience. So unfortunately, as I mentioned in my other video about your time is money, you have to actually always understand that sometimes people run late. I do my best to accommodate people. Turo gives guests basically 29 minutes really. I try to give them 30 minutes or more. And there's times I've even been out there over 3 hours. And that's a waste of your time at that point, in my personal opinion. So at that point, if they're running late, not communicating, or if they're not telling the truth, sometimes you might get a guest who might say, "Oh, I'll be there in 1 minute or 2 minutes," and it's like an hour passes. So you have to keep constant communication, and that's not what happened to this guest. This guest basically didn't show up on time. They're really, really late. Then they got mad at me, sent me some vulgar messages, some vulgar emojis. I'm not gonna repeat that. I don't like the vulgar language, but you'll see what I did. Stay tuned. I'm gonna show you guys. And I met another guest, which was a little more sketchier. Is this person said that they were running late. It was a 12:30 a.m. booking, so just after midnight, I agreed to accommodate them. I know they're showing late. I want to do my best to accommodate them. They didn't show up. They said they'll be there at 12:30. Then they said they're running a little late. Then they came after 1 a.m. And long story short, ended up being a little close to 2 or a little after 2 when I actually finally left, and then I had to stay up longer to file a report against them. And I even called them multiple times. Turo tried to call them multiple times to try to help them because they had an expired driver license. And I told them it was expired. I caught it. Just I told them upload 3 photos, which they did, but it was expired. And at that point, they went AWOL, silent chirps, no messaging, no answering a call anymore. They said that they were near their car. I didn't see them near their car. I left it in a very well lit area. So if you meet someone late at night, like I said, to let people know where you are, leave in a well lit area, record, keep them recorded. If you park in your cameras if possible. And word of advice, most importantly, besides even documenting, don't meet people at your home. There's been so many situations that have happened where if someone doesn't like how something turned, they come back and you're threatening your family. Don't do that. Meet them in a location, be down the street even, but possibly as far as possible. That's time efficient for you though. Just do not meet people at your home. You never know how things can turn out. And just want you guys to know, don't be scared. Toro's a great opportunity. It's just with any business there is risk and liabilities, and the good does outweigh the bad, but you have to guard yourself against the bad. And this comes from a guy who's insurance license over 8 years and heavy in insurance mitigation, asset management, and risk reduction. So I mean, just play it smart. Turo is a great opportunity. 99.9% of the people have been phenomenal and great and just beautiful people and beautiful human beings, but from all different walks of life. But you do get some interesting people. So you just want to guard yourself. So don't meet people at your home. Always do your best to document everything creepy, suspicious, or violent type of messaging, media, or in person meeting or greetings. And do your best to document everything, screenshot the conversations, upload the trip. Turo trip photos as a host, and contact and call Turo right away so you can do an investigation, and so they can handle and address the situation, and so there's proof. So you always want to guard yourself just in case someone tries to lie on you too. So stay tuned. I'll walk you through my actual situation with the guest. Currently now. Hey people, so as I was mentioning before, as a Turo host, you go through meeting the most interesting people from good to bad. But I really want to say, in my experience, have doing business with Turo, it's been phenomenal. Most people, about 99.9%, literally, have been phenomenal. It's the very rare few, like the person who stole my car and took it to Mexico and committed some crimes. I had to go. As you guys know, if you guys know, I made a video about me recouping and recovering my car from Mexico because it was stolen, taken to Mexico, and I had to go to Mexico actually go retrieve my car. There's a person who abandoned my car as well, and and now the two last people I met last night actually. The one person, he was never showed and he was really acting sketchy. I reported him to Turo, and the other guest, they actually met. They went to the LAX area, but they were really late. They got mad at me because per Turo policy, they actually can cancel the trip because at that point they're supposed to be there and they're not there. And I did my best to accommodate them, and I always usually accommodate my guests to try to make sure to stay there as long as possible. But yeah, so this is one of the messages from the guests where they booked the trip back in March. And like I mentioned, I usually get bookings back to back at months at a time, where someone 2 or 3 months ahead will actually book a trip with me. So this is fairly common, so it's not a problem. I always do my best to accommodate them. And so back in March, on March 24th, they booked a trip. I sent them a message to introduce myself, and they also requested a time change. So if you look at 7:58 p.m. where it states time change, they requested a time change, which I approved. As a Turo host, you have the option to approve or disapprove if someone wants to meet at a different time. I approved it. Like, as I mentioned, I want to do my best to accommodate them. This is further let's further elaborate into the messaging. So if you look here, they also requested to change their location at 6:15 p.m. This is in May. This was just earlier this month, which is totally fine. And now they changed the address. So they changed it, which I approved and I worked with them. So here, there's no problem here. And then yesterday, I let them know I'm here, and please let me know when you're 20 minutes away. As I mentioned in my other videos, as you guys know, you guys are supposed to notify the guests, keep constant communication, figure out where they're at, what time, so you can establish what time they will be getting there. Because sometimes a guest will be supposed to be there at one time, let's say for example 1 p.m., and they'll show up at 4 p.m. You don't want to be out there 3 hours waiting because they're running late. So they might let you know, hey, I'm running late. Be like, okay, cool. You can decide to wait. Maybe you have another guest and you can't wait, but at least you know. So always ask them how long they're taking, when will they be there, what's their ETA, expected time of arrival, etc. So that's what I did. I let them know I was there at the pickup location. I told them upload the 3 pictures, which they did never upload the 3 pictures. That's something you always have to do. Just if your car gets in some type of accident claim, make sure you take the 3 photos or have them take the 3 photos. I have listed on each of my cars that you must upload 3 pictures. If you look at my Turo host profile, you'll see that in each one of my vehicle listings. But I also give them the opportunity to do that. If they don't do it, we have a little photo shoot where I take 3 pictures of the front of the driver license, back of the driver license, and them holding their driver license. And the driver license must not be expired. So they were late. And as you see at the top, it says canceled trip. That means Turo canceled their trip because they're over 30 minutes late. So that's the problem, is sometimes people aren't reasonable, and I get it. That's why I try to do my best to, just because say Turo says we can cancel the trip at 30 minutes, I try to usually stay longer. There's even times I've waited 3 hours, which is, in my opinion, ridiculous, but I really try to go the extra mile of accommodation, but I need communication. And they told me one thing and they did not show up. So at that point, and especially since I have multiple vehicles, multiple fleets with it, multiple fleet bookings within the same day, typically because I have multiple vehicles, I can't stick around. It's not because I don't want to. I can't stick around. And maybe if you have one car, even then, it's not worth your time sometimes, especially if they might not show up. What I usually recommend is contact Turo, let them know. If it gets canceled, what I like to do is I usually send them a message stating that I'm happy to accommodate them. And if you look here, I put Turo may cancel the trip due to late no-show policy. I put that right here. But I always give them the option to rebook pretty much, which is phenomenal. So, okay, whenever you get your time schedule together, you can go ahead and rebook it. Not a problem. So that's usually how I try to accommodate them. Just some experience and tips just from my experiences and perspectives. So I always give them a comment. I always try to accommodate them to rebook at a later time of whenever they finally get there. But this guest was not having it. They didn't want to rebook. They felt that I was trying to take their money, which no, I wasn't trying to take their money. First, they paid Turo. They didn't pay me directly. That would be a great market transaction. So they didn't pay me. They paid Turo. So they're mad at me though. And that's what happens when you're the host. You get the short end of the stick sometimes, where guests will get mad at you, try to get crazy. And that's why as a host, you gotta be as safe as possible. Use caution and do your best to use good reason. And sometimes if something seems sketchy or someone seems irrational or violent or aggressive, this guest, they threatened me. And they threatened me in multiple ways. I'm not going to repeat what they said or what they want to do. But they threatened, they told me about me, if I want something, they can meet me. They can meet me somewhere. They start calling and texting me and send me harassing text messages and messages through here. They even sent me a vulgar emoji that you guys will see that I covered up so you don't see it, but you could kind of use your imagination to figure out what they sent. But they sent me a very vulgar emoji. Was not nice. I didn't really didn't appreciate that, and I let them know, like right here, I put no need to use the bad language. You just always want to keep your calm. Don't take it personal. It's not you that they're mad at. They're mad at the situation, and they don't know you personally. So I mean, even if they say something bad to you or to you, don't take it personally. Don't get in the rut. Just document, report them to Turo, and let Turo take care of it. So I've reported them, and that's what happened. So the trip was canceled. They said I tried to take their money, which I did not. They were late. That's the problem. And they said, was it my fault? You'll hear that quite a bit. And they said they were threatening and all that good stuff. If you got a problem, meet me somewhere. That's where they start getting threatening. I covered the vulgar word. You could kind of use your imagination to figure out what else they said, but I covered it with the red over there. Didn't want to leave that out for the viewers, and just out of respect for you guys, I don't like vulgar language as well. So it's really disgusting, to be quite honest. And yeah, and they said some more vulgar stuff here. I'm not going to, of course, repeat that. They left a vulgar emoji. You can use your imagination. I covered that up. You guys don't need to see that, but you can use your imagination to figure out what they said. And at this point, you just want to document them. What I do, I screenshot this. I upload the actual the unedited ones without the red markings to their actual trip photos. So as a Turo host, you want to add this to trip photos. And what's going to happen is Turo will review this. And at this point, they'll probably either get the person's account closed, warn them, or at least get it documented. And also, if you ever have issues with this person, at least there's something for the police to work with as well. You want to create as much documentation as possible. And also, if the person one day lies on you, or like, just get the document. So always document, record this. Don't let it just go away. If they do something to you, you have a right. Always know your rights. Document this and put it on their file so that Turo can review it and report them immediately. So that's pretty much what happened. So this is another booking with another person who booked a trip with my other vehicle, and they booked it for a late night booking, which I'm fine with. They booked it for 12:30 a.m. Totally fine, not a problem. And even then, I still try to accommodate them, but they start running late. So as I mentioned, this was yesterday. They mentioned who they were. I feel a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Thank you for taking time to consider a sporty Buick. And then they notified me that they'll be arriving a little late. I said, I know it's okay. I even went further, so I try to go above and beyond. Do you want the AC on? Do you want the heater on? Do you want the seat warming on? Do you have a certain type of fragrance, maybe jasmine or eucalyptus, or some type of maybe fragrance that maybe you like, mint maybe? Like, let me know. I try to really go above and beyond and really try to give us not only a great tour experience, but a great host experience, because my goal is to satisfy you. So, and that's what's good when you actually have excellent guest service skills, or excellent customer service, whatever you want to call it. It's at least works for you in situations where the good outweighs the bad. So even in a bad situation like this, even if they lie on you, if they see all this, that you really go above and beyond, and plus they see all your good reviews and that you're consistently giving people good reviews. When someone lies on you and says something that's not true or give you an unfair review, and that's what outweighs that. So it's very important always to have a stellar profile, and always do your best to give the top-notch Turo good service. So that's pretty much it. So right here they say, see you soon. I said I'll accommodate them. More than happy. See you later, Conrad. Thank you again. So I understand, not a problem. I'm just reassuring them, okay, I know they're running late, fine. They still run a little bit later. And then right here, any feature. And so here, as I mentioned, it's just stating that I basically, I'm okay with it. They then said they'll be there around 1, which it was later, ended up being closer to like 2 a.m. So I was out there for over 2.5 hours. And so that's what was going on. So in regards to that, that's what pretty much happened. So it's just quite frustrating. And sorry, people, this is a video I'm making before I go to sleep. So you guys just saw my sleep pattern. I'm trying to go to sleep right now, actually. But before I go to sleep, I wanted to give you guys a nice end of the day review of how my day went last night. So this is authentic and it's crazy, but back on subject. But yeah, that's about it. So they said it'll make it around 1 a.m. I end up being up to close to 2 a.m. So they're over an hour and a half late for the most part. So I got out at like 2:11 from the lot I was at, and I was in a well-lit area. And another safety tip: if you guys are ever meeting people late at night, always go to a very well-lit area, maybe near some cameras. Let someone know you're there as well. Those are just a few tips you should follow. Keep it safe. Let people know where you are, the location you're at. Maybe even have someone else watching you. If you know a security guard in the area, or if you have a friend with you. Do it like that. Don't go by yourself if you don't have to. And if you do, make sure you record and keep maybe your camera on recording, so you record what's going on, so that if something happens, they can retrieve your phone and figure that out, what happened. Or you can give it to the police and to Turo as well. Just, we meet people late at night or any time of the day, you should just be cautious. So that's what I did as well. So long story short, I told them upload 3 of their pictures. They did. It was expired. I notified, I said, hey, it's expired. They didn't seem like they were too surprised by that. And as you see, I let them know, hey, your driver's license is expired. And right here, I put that I'm happy to help you. Unless I want to do anything to help, but maybe, hey, yes, expired, but maybe they could get a picture of their valid one or have Turo assist them. They, at this point, were non-communicative. They were not there. They told me must have picked the wrong license, which, okay, can happen, fine, reasonable. But still, as you see in my message, I said that, hey, call Turo. I left them the Turo number, which I crossed out right there, but I left them the Turo number, and pretty much they didn't call Turo. I actually even had Turo contact them, and that's pretty much what happened. So